Welcome back to the channel. If you guys would like to see a quick review of the magazines that I use in my Ruger Precision Rifle, stick around. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you want to learn what loads work best for me and the tools that I use to make my group smaller, subscribe to my channel, leave your feedback in the comments section to help me and the rest of the community here on the channel improve our load development. Guys, today's video should be short and sweet. Today I thought I would do a quick review of the magazines that I have for my Ruger Precision Rifle. Today basically we're going to be overviewing 3 different magazines. First, the standard magazine that actually comes with the RPR, the AICS PMAG, as well as the new American Rifle Company 308 Winchester magazine. If you're new to the channel, just so you guys are aware, this is my 6.5 Creedmoor Ruger Precision Rifle Generation 1. And also, if you're new to the channel, be aware, I reload. And because of that, it started me exploring into a couple of different magazines. I've had my Ruger Precision Rifle for a little while, and honestly, one of the first things that I got for it after I bought my scope was a different magazine. Now, for those guys that shoot box ammunition, that might not be a big consideration for you guys. However, for those reloaders out there that are trying to get the projectiles loaded closer to their lands, you'll understand why. Guys, let's just do a quick review and we'll go over kind of some of the pluses and minuses of the magazines. Again, a lot of this stuff, like everything, is going to be a preference thing. If you guys don't mind your bolt staying open after your last round is shot, the standard magazine might be fine for you. The standard magazine actually also comes in a 20 round configuration, and so you could actually have 20 rounds that you can load in a single magazine, which would be a good option if you're shooting a match that requires more than 10 rounds. Let's get into it. This rifle comes with 2 of the standard magazines, the PMAG 10. Like I said, this magazine actually holds 10 rounds. Along with the 10 rounds, the actual max overall length of the cartridges into this magazine is actually 2.840 inches. Now, if you're a reloader and you think like me, scary thought, if I was loading for this magazine, I would actually not load any longer than 2.83 just to ensure the function of the rifle. I've measured a reasonable amount of factory rounds. I have bought some factory rounds and run those through here. Most of it doesn't come past around 2.810 inches. So the standard magazine 2.84 is perfectly fine. The other thing, like I mentioned with the guys, with an empty magazine, your bolt doesn't close. Some guys will argue this is a good feature, some guys don't think it's a good feature. Personally, if you were going to single load your rifle in a match, this is a horrible feature, but you won't close your bolt on an empty chamber and pull a trigger to not have a cartridge in there. It will obviously let you know when it's empty. However, not being able to single feed and having the limitation of the 2.84 inches on the stock magazine was really a detracting factor for me. So guys, the next magazine we're going to talk about is the AICS PMAG. I'll put links to part numbers in the description box below so you guys can go do a little bit more research if you want on this. I'll put pictures on the screen, I'm sure, along the way, so you guys can have close-ups of these to get a better idea of what they look like. The PMAG AICS magazine is a obviously polymer-based magazine, much like the other PMAG. However, this is a single stack configuration. Obviously, the AICS magazine is significantly longer than the magazine that comes with a Ruger Precision Rifle. However, this magazine has 2 distinct features which made me want to purchase it. The first feature, guys, like I told you when we were talking about bolt hole open, this is actually a center feed magazine. What that really means to you is you are actually able to single feed it with this magazine in place. The other significantly appealing feature of this magazine is you can actually load to 2.88 inches, so 40 thousandths longer than the stock magazine. You guys that are familiar with the channel, you'll know that I've loaded some longer loads, and I've done so utilizing this magazine in place. To each into their own, but I usually load no longer than 2.87 inches utilizing this magazine, simply because I want to ensure magazine function reliably. The follower doesn't seem to be quite as robust as the stock magazine. However, I've never had it jam with actual ammunition loaded in there and really haven't had any problems. One other thing is I'll mention, these are a little bit more expensive than the factory magazines, but you can find these for somewhere between $35 and $39 roughly when you can find them in stock. The downside of the AICS magazine, it obviously is a little bit longer in the rifle. Depending on what your shooting situation is, it does make it a little bit longer, which can be obtrusive in certain situations. I probably should have showed you guys a quick thing with the AICS magazine in there. It easily allows the bolt to open and close without any issue on an empty magazine. Now, likely what you guys have all been waiting for is to talk about this new American Rifle Company magazine. Now, believe it or not, guys, if you can see on the sides, this is actually also a 10-round magazine. And you can say, well, how is that possible? It is actually shorter than the factory magazine. in case you're wondering, the Ruger Precision Rifle owners out there, this does work in the Ruger Precision Rifle. So this is a metal magazine, unlike the polymer ones from Magpul. Like the AICS MAG, there's no problem cycling the bolt with the magazine in place. It fits tightly, it's not going to come out. It does wiggle around a little bit, but I haven't been able to put it in a configuration where it did not cycle reliably. So guys, let's talk about the features of this magazine a little bit. Whereas the stock magazine would only load to 2.84 inches, and the AICS magazine could only be loaded to 2.88 inches, this American Rifle Company magazine advertises the internal length to actually 2.97 inches. I'm not going to say that that's inaccurate. However, I will say when I pull my calipers out and measure this magazine, it's a little over 2.96. Maybe at its longest point you could sneak out 2.97, but again guys, I think at this point it's a moot point arguing over. When I'm doing my reloading, I usually take all of my rounds and see what the cartridge overall length to my lands is. I don't typically load anything into my lands, and so the actual longest bullet to my lands has an overall length of around 2.95. So I really have absolutely no reason to load any longer than that. Being able to load all the way to 2.96 fairly reliably is a great feature of this magazine. Obviously, being able to cycle the action when it's empty, another good feature in my opinion. We'll give you a little bit of the negative. I did see another video that's out on the internet about this. They were talking about the follower. When I load my rounds into this magazine exactly like it's supposed to, I've actually never had the follower get stuck. I haven't had any misfeeds. I haven't had any problems with the follower getting stuck. However, I will say that it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to make this follower stick with your finger. Again, not really what you're trying to do, but you don't have any problem sticking your thumb in this, getting it sideways and having it stick. It really doesn't take much to get the follower to stick. That's really not how you're loading rounds. So as long as you're feeding the rounds in here like you're supposed to, I really would say I haven't had any problems at all. I've never been able to rock the ammunition in here in any way, shape, or form that allowed the follower to stick. I've been able to run these things through the rifle without any problems, and so far I really can't fault it for operating the way it does. They do have notes on their website if you go look, basically telling you, they do tell you this needs to be kept clean for your follower to work properly. I think they have about the strongest spring on the planet, so maybe that's how they get the reliability. I don't know, but again, I'd say I've had no problem cycling rounds through the rifle. With that out of the way, if you want to call that a downside, the only thing I will mention about this magazine that's kind of on the negative side is obviously the price. The retail price of this magazine on American Rifle Company's website is $70. I will tell you that I purchased this from Anarchy Outdoors. They had a sale going on, and so I paid somewhere in the mid-60s on the sale for the single magazine. We'll talk about the packaging for 2 seconds. This was simply packed in a cardboard box and had a little bit of foam on top of it. American Rifle Company calls this their 7.62x51.38 Winchester magazine. Like I said, it does work on my RPR. I haven't had any problems with it yet. The long loading distance, the 10 rounds in such a short configuration, really the only downside is the follower is kind of weird. And using it the way that it's meant to be used, I really haven't had any problems with it. Retail price around $70. It's certainly not the cheapest magazine you can find, but if you are looking for a magazine where you can load those cartridge overall length to significantly longer than factory, again, like I said, 2.96 I think you could probably do reasonably reliably. Their website says 2.97. So guys, I'll feed a couple rounds for you just so you guys can see it work. Forgive me that I don't feel like flinging all of my ammunition all over my floor. So, 3 load of the magazine, like I said, close it, open it, no problem, feed the next one, no problem. Feed the last one. No problem. And like I said, you can cycle the action on it, no problem. So that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Click the bell icon to make sure you get notified when I post a new video. If you like today's video, please like the video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those in the comments section below. Until next week, stay safe in small groups.